coaches and owners around the league responded to that yesterday by locking arms, sitting or kneeling during the anthem. A few teams even stayed off the field until after the anthem. Many coaches and players had strong reactions. Take a listen.
Man's not welcome here in Washington, D.C. He's not. I hope he don't be around when I see him. He's not welcome. It's not about the flag. It's not. It's not about anything like that. It's not about black and white. It's about what we're being faced with right now. And that's being teared down from in the White House.
We will not be divided by this. We got a group of men in there, man, that come from different socioeconomic backgrounds, races, creed, ethnicities, and religions, and so forth. That's football. That's a lot of team sports. But because of our position, we get drugged into, to be quite honest with you. And so some have opinions, some don't. We wanted to protect those that don't. We wanted to protect those that do. We came here to play a football game today, and that was our intentions.
We're joined now by Rob Parker. Good morning, Rob.
What's happening? Good morning.
Good morning.
Rob, what are your thoughts on what happened yesterday?
Shannon, I always look to you because I'm always critical of your players' union and how they operate and what they don't do. And there was a sign of force. You know, people showed up, the players made a statement or whatever. But when you pull the curtain back and really take a look at it, it's not as impressive as you would think it was from this standpoint. The real enemy is not Donald Trump. The real enemy were those same owners now who are holding hands, locking arms, singing Kumbaya, who have set this whole thing up. They're the ones that those players should be looking at and talking about. Sure, it's easy to do the Donald Trump thing. He says something that inflames people, and now everybody's joined in. They should have been there from day one on not allowing this to happen to Colin Kaepernick. And I'm talking about, it wasn't about him. It was about what he believed in and what he was protesting, but then to allow the owners to blackball him for those actions. That should have gotten you upset from the get-go. Khan, the Jacksonville owner, he's down there with the players and all that. He should have signed Colin Kaepernick for his football team.
He was dying to locked arms after he gave Donald Trump, a president,
Right.
$45 million. Yeah.
So I look at that, and it goes against everything, Skip, that we're supposed to be about in this country when it comes to sports. The one level playing field was sports. It's the reason this country's 13% black, but the NFL 70% black, and the NBA is 75% black. Because you know why? Because if you could play, you had a job. It's about that, an equal opportunity. It would have been easy to just say, oh, well, pick the white guys for the team or what. No, you pick the best players available. And when they went against that, I'm talking about the owners, that was reason enough to fight, to stand up and say, you can't do this. So I look at it, the owners are frauds and phonies standing up there now acting as if they did something. The only reason they made a statement and a stance against Donald Trump, he tried to wreck their business. He told people, don't watch, turn the TVs off, get up, walk out if those guys kneel. That makes Bob Kraft want to fight mad. That makes those guys all fighting mad.
Went onto the field and ripped the product you're watching, saying they're not calling, they're calling too many penalties.
Penalties in the game is too soft. Right. Wow. That's what made those owners all of it. Now they're reacting, and now they're talking about my players in the locker room are the best for the community, and they believe in what, and I stand with those guys. Now,
Hadn't Colin Kaepernick been in the community?
Yes, spent his own money, Shannon. So my point is, while I like the show of players, the show of force, I like that. I know it's deeper than that. Even Tom Brady's out there with locked arms, who 2 weeks ago told us what? He didn't know anything about it. He didn't know what was going on. That's what he said. So that's a quick education for Tom Brady.
He's a fast learner. Read fast. Speed reader. You echoing everything I said. The owners all of a sudden want us to think that they got conscience. They was worried about their cash. President Trump told them to stay away. Say, if somebody does that, if just one does it, don't watch. Get up and leave. Don't go. Wait a minute. Whoa, hold on now. I know I gave you $1 million. I know I fly on Air Force One. I've been to Mar-a-Lago. But hold on now. Don't you be talking about my back pocket. Because that's the one thing that we will not allow you to do. Because this is what we know about people with money. They don't like being told what to do, Skip. And the more you have of it, the less you listen to people telling you what to do. We know that for fact. And that's why, Skip, I'm unmoved. That's why I'm unimpressed. Because this is like on the meter of things that he said that should have shocked everybody. This is probably like 7,737. And this is what got him. No. Because guess what, Skip? And I told you, it's hard for you to empathize if you can't see yourself in that situation. See, when he lashed out at everybody else, with women and the Mexican communities and the minorities and the Gold Star families, that wasn't bothering the NFL. He came knocking on your door. Hey, take the money out of their pocket. Don't watch. Don't go. That's when they drew the line. But here we are. We're talking about President Trump, what he said. We're talking about people defending Colin Kaepernick's right to first free speech. We're talking about we united against President Trump and everybody's locked arms. But let me tell you what, players, these same owners that you think are on your side right now, guess when that CBA comes up, they're going to lock arms again, but it won't be with you. It'll be with the other 32. And they'll lock arms with Commissioner Goodell and lock you out like they did in 2011. So don't be fooled by this, because they've already told you what they thought. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. They said it. Oh, now all of a sudden we're in favor of peaceful protest. When Colin Kaepernick did this 14 months ago, you weren't for it. Oh, now you for freedom of speech. Now you for solidarity. Now you're for unity. I don't buy the Skip. You got to stay woke. See, I stay woke all the time. Been drinking coffee lately, Joy, because I want to stay woke, because I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to play
coffee?
No, I don't. Never had a cup in my life. They're trying to play the shell game with me, Rob. They're trying to do misdirection. They got me. I got my eye right here, but they doing all this talking over here and all this talking over there. Nope. Right here. The injustices, the killing of unarmed black men and women in America, the injustices, the inequities that I see in society, the racism that's prevalent. I ain't to worry about all what he said, no SOB or this. The man said he grabbed hoo-ha. The man insulted the Gold Star family. He called John McCain a loser. And this shocked the Skip. After all the things that the guys that gave him $1 million, there's 7 owners. Of all the things, him calling a player an SOB and him sending people for their money, that's what shocked their conscience. Of all the things that he has said, man, y'all need to give me a break with this.
So neither of you see any progress was made over the last 48 hours.
What they want me to get up here and say, we shall overcome? Because talk to me in a week. Talk to me in a week. Talk to me in 2 weeks, and we'll see if they still lock arm in arms. Because I believe it was a one-off. I believe it was a one-time. We're going to see, Skip.
Well, how long do you want them to lock arms?
Oh,
Forever?
So we good? So we good now?
Didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Here's what I see. This is my 2 cents personally. First of all, I'm having more and more trouble putting any credibility in anything the leader of the greatest country in the world says or tweets. We now have a president who sits wherever he lives at night by himself, tweeting without editing, right? Yeah. There's no checks and balances. This is the leader of the free world, right? Yeah. And he's just tweeting random shots. We haven't even talked about what he tweeted at Steph Curry in Golden State, like a little spoiled brat 8-year-old. Yeah. No, you can't come anyway. If you don't,
if you don't make a decision right now.
If you don't do it right now, no, you can't come. I mean, that's just like the most. That's our leader of this country.
He didn't get upset with Tom Brady. Didn't come.
Well, we don't know.
He didn't tweet it.
No.
He didn't even mention his name. He pretended like he didn't know Tom wasn't there.
Well, I wonder if he's going to tweet at Robert Kraft, who did go so far as to blast a close friend of his.
Bet he don't.
I don't know. That'd be interesting. That would be a break. So this is my view of what happened yesterday. I think more and more like I'm going to put myself in the same boat. I did not vote for Donald Trump, but as soon as he got elected, shockingly, I thought, I believe in the office of the President of the United States. So I'm going to get on board here And I'm going to try to see the positive here, and I'm going to hope that he turns out way better than I think he's going to turn out. And slowly, but not so surely, he proved the latter, to the point I'm not sure he's fit to be in office anymore. And this was, again, this was because it hit home. I'm not as political as you, so I can't relate to all the issues, but just on an NFL level, he's such an insecure, thin-skinned egomaniac, desperate, insecure, thin-skinned. Yeah, that he's reaching for the farthest right. He's sort of promoting racism to better his brand. It's almost like an Odell situation. You'll do anything. Not that I'm putting Odell and Trump on, but he's got some Odell in him. He's got that egomania where he just can't see the forest for the trees. He's just going to try anything at any point. It came across in the speech like it was an aside. It wasn't, he went off script. He went off prompter just to launch out. And the great irony was that the movement, the Kaepernick movement, had sort of faded away to the point that Kenny Stills a week ago was saying, hey, brothers, where are you? Come back. We got to keep this up. It hasn't, again, I think Colin Kaepernick had lasting national impact. That's just I don't have, scientific evidence of that, but I do believe he risked and then ultimately sacrificed his job, and he created awareness nationally for an issue that I've talked about for 3 years on various national TV shows, needed to be addressed. And I think he's at least planted seeds of doubt in the minds of some white cops who didn't have any seeds of doubt before. That's just me. So I applaud him because I think he had historical impact. Now, where do we go to clean up the problem of racism in America, to fix it? I don't know, because that's a hard fix, man. That's not going to happen overnight.
No.
But I did love that everybody was forced by what President Trump said on Friday night. They were all forced back into the corner of having to lock arms. I thought that was a nice thing. I thought that showed just a little bit of progress, because you know why? Because a lot of white guys who were on the bandwagon, or at least maybe they didn't vote, but maybe they were saying, I'm going to support him. Maybe they're starting to be off the bandwagon. Maybe it's gotten to the point where there is some progress here, because a lot of white people are saying, wait a second. Well, that's a good thing, right?
If the election
That's a start.
If the election was tomorrow, he win again in a landslide.
In a landslide?
In a landslide.
Boy, I just don't see that.
I see it. Because all this confirmed is what people like myself and Rob Parker always knew to be true. There are more people that think and feel like President Trump than we previously thought. That's what we know. Because here's the thing. I know several people that he's never called SOB. The white supremacists, the neo-Nazis, the white nationalists.
Well, he did say there were some nice people involved.
Oh, there was
fine people.
No SOBs, though.
Fine
people, right.
He didn't even call Vladimir Putin, who we know tried to undermine our democracy by meddling in our election. He hadn't even called Kim Jong-un, who called him deranged, said he's mentally unfit to serve the office of president. He didn't even call him that. Erdogan, the ruler of Turkey, he brought his goons over here. They fighting in the streets of D.C. And he did not say a word. But guys that are protesting the injustices in America, those are some ungrateful SOBs. And it wasn't until he came. You see what happened, Skip? He was knocking on everybody else's door. The Hispanic community, the women community, the transgender, the black. He was knocking on everybody's door.
Help me out.
Yeah,
I'm not political, so I don't follow this closely. This is a naive, probably a stupid question. Then how did President Obama get elected and reelected?
You see?
I don't know.
That was the greatest trick, because see, now racism didn't exist.
No, I didn't say it didn't exist, but you're saying that that Trump would be reelected now.
They were because the pendulum. They were so out on President Bush because of 9/11, because of the Iraq War. So it swung way to President Obama. Okay. And now we got President Obama. Well, Mitch McConnell said, who's the Senate Majority Leader now, he says, my job is to make sure he's a one-term president.
That was the whole premise of it.
So now guess what? The pendulum swung way back over here. Skip, think about this, Skip. 80% of the people that President Trump was talking to in Alabama get Obamacare, get Medicaid, get Medicare, get government assistance. There was a lady, Skip, there was a lady, they did a town hall. There was a lady that was alive because of Obamacare. She had cancer. and she was alive, she said, if they voted again tomorrow, I'll vote for President Trump. And he wants to take it away. I would rather die than have something with his name on it that saved my life. Do I need to say more? Think about that, Skip. You
What
are
have I told you
alive.
from the start? You always say those red states, and I say, no, those blue states.
Blue states as well.
You know it, and I know it.
We
'cause
both
you've
know
lived
it.
in one, and you have a problem with another one.
Well,
right?
Skip,
Right?
what happened
Big time.
when they were doing these polls, people were getting so much blowback because they were talking about they were going to vote for President Trump. And so what they did
they
is
lied.
they lied.
They lied.
And see, when they went behind that curtain, I ain't vote for him. They closed that curtain.
Yeah. Well, you know, like you said, some of us kind of knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea that that someone else can determine when you come to the light. You know, I'm with you. I think it came down to their back pocket and the bottom line. You're telling me A, what I can do with my employees, and B, that people shouldn't spend money with me. Why don't you pump the brakes a little bit?
Yeah.
I'm with you on that, but you know, sometimes things happen that hit you, that do affect you. And then you realize and then you understand the mistakes that you've made. So I'm with you. It came down to the bottom line, but sometimes it is the bottom line that changes your mind.
It came knocking on their door.
Right. But sometimes when things start to affect you, that's when change happens. Isn't it funny? It's amazing how history repeats itself, isn't
It
it?
does. That's why people say it all the time. Just follow history.
Yep. It's coming around again.
Or the money.
Rob, thanks for joining us.
No,
yeah.
thank you.
Does Carmelo Anthony make the Thunder a contender in the West?
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not on that segment.
We'll discuss that next.